Everything's on.
Greetings, public and social workers in the state of Louisiana. We are back from executive session. The time is 1:21, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a motion to come back from executive session. Moved by Trinity, seconded by Evan. Can you give us a roll call vote for it, please?
Evan Bergeron,
Yes.
Trinity Jordan,
Yes.
Melissa Haley, Laura Senseri, yes. Jamie Barney,
Yes.
Isaac McKee,
And let the record reflect that Dr. McKee is here and will be stepping back in shortly. We'll note the time she returns when she does. We also have our prosecuting attorney, Jim Raines, present, the legal counsel to the board, Sherry present, Sherry Morris, and then we have Emily D'Angelo, the board administrator, also present. So we are going to come in on agenda item 4, presentation of consent agreement in order in the matter of Naquandra Caleb, RSW.
Yes, it's complaint number 2025-33. You all have had an opportunity to review the agreement. As you can see from the document, the proposed discipline here is a reprimand, a fine of 500, just legal cost of 1,080, continuing education hours of 6 hours, and the board open book examination. The remainder of the language is there. It's just the common language, essentially consent agreements. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. Does any board member have any questions? If so, we will go into executive session to hear those questions and discuss.
I move to adopt the report. I mean, the consent agreement.
a second.
Okay, so motion to adopt by Evan, seconded by Bora. Do we have any public comments pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions?
Extension or recusal is Dr. McKee.
Okay.
She's outside of the room.
Okay. And let the record reflect that Dr. McKee recused herself. Okay, motion carries. And so we will get that signed. And now we are going to go back and make some motions on things that we have previously discussed. So we will go, do we need a motion for agenda item B, the evaluation of the professional service contractors?
My motion.
We need to make a motion on what we,
No, when we get to board staff matter, make your motion.
Got it.
okay.
We gotta be compliant for it.
Okay. So what about agenda item C, impaired professional program?
We didn't do compliance hearings.
We discussed that we were going to wait until we had a 5th person back,
Oh,
since
okay.
we sat on the
Sorry.
hearings.
Missed that, sorry.
Okay, no problem.
He's on the way.
Oh, she only stepped out for that?
Yeah.
Okay. But we can, if anyone has a motion regarding the paraprofessional program.
Move to adopt the that.
Motion to adopt by Evan,
Second.
seconded by Trinity. Any public comments? Any objections or abstentions? Motion carries. Agenda item B, 3D, the disciplinary report.
Move to accept the report and release the named individuals from the consent agreement in order. Second.
Okay, moved by Evan, seconded by Trinity. Do we have any public comments? Any objections or abstentions? Okay, motion carries. And then, sorry, public, for jumping around, but we're just doing what we can do, for the sake of efficiency and time. So, Madam Chair, we are at, executive session A. We're just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And so, we need you to take that part back over so we can do the motions for those hearings I chaired. I'm not chaired, sat on.
Oh, okay, so at this time, we're entertaining a motion for Christopher Robidoux.
Move to deny.
Second.
It's been moved by Evan to deny. Is there a second by Jamie? Any public comment pertaining to this motion?
Public comment.
Any objections or abstentions to the motion on the floor? Hearing none, motion carries. I'll entertain a motion regarding Claire Garrett.
Move to approve.
It's been moved by Evan to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jamie. Is there public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. I entertain a motion regarding Erica Pusateri.
Move to deny.
It's been moved by Evan to deny. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jamie. Any public comment pertaining to the motion on the floor? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. I entertain a motion regarding Ryan Averett.
Move to deny.
It's been moved by Evan to deny. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jamie. Is there any public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions?
Objection.
An objection for the record made by Bora. At this time, since we have an objection, we will now have to do a roll call, but before I say that, any abstentions? Okay, so we will have to do a roll call vote for the individuals that served on the hearing. Because we're not the people that didn't serve. All right, can you call the roll?
Evan Bergeron.
Yes.
Jamie Barney,
Yes.
Laura Senseri, no.
So the yeas have it. So the motion to deny moves forward. It stands. Okay, with that being said, are we now,
On correspondence E1, we'll be
What we did.
discussing three B. We'll be discussing 3B under board staff matters. So we're at 3E if we want to finish motions before we
oh, so let's keep going our correspondence. All right, correspondence E1, Alexandra Bernstein will entertain a motion regarding that request.
motion to approve.
Been moved by Jamie to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to that motion? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. I would entertain a motion regarding Candice Gibson, request for compliance hearing.
Motion to approve.
It's been moved by Jamie to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trinity. Any objections or abstentions? Any public comment to that motion? Any objections or abstentions to that motion? Hearing none, motion carries. I entertain a motion regarding Ronika Polk, LMSW, requesting credit for supervised work experience.
Motion to deny the request to count the hours from August 23 to July 24, to approve the extension of the 4-year time frame for an additional 2 years from today, and to approve the virtual supervision.
Second.
It's been moved by Jamie. Is there a second? Second made by Evan. Any public comment pertaining to the motion on the floor? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. I'll entertain a motion regarding 202538.
Motion to dismiss.
Been moved by Jamie to dismiss. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Evan. Is there public comment pertaining to this motion? Hearing none, motion carries. I entertain a motion regarding 202546.
Move to dismiss.
It's been moved by Evan to dismiss. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jamie. Any public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. I entertain a motion regarding 202548.
Move to dismiss.
It's been moved by Evan to dismiss. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bora. Is there public comment? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Entertain a motion regarding 202550.
Move to dismiss.
It's been moved by Evan to dismiss. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bora. Public comments pertaining to this motion. Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Entertain a motion regarding 202578.
Move to dismiss.
Moved by Evan to dismiss this complaint. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bora. Any public comment pertaining to this motion? Objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Did I catch all the complaints?
Yes.
Okay. All right, did we go over the applications yet? Not yet? All right. Entertain a motion regarding Monique Brown, BSW, applying for the RSW.
Motion to approve.
It's been moved by Evan to approve this application. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trinity. Is there any public comment? Any objections or abstentions to this motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Entertain a motion regarding Bradley Day Jr. applying for the CSW LMSW.
Move to approve.
Been moved by Evan to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstention? Hearing none, motion carries. I entertain a motion regarding Verna Humphrey, MSW, applying for the LCSW via Endorsement, Texas.
Move to approve.
Been moved by Evan to approve this request. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bora. Public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. I entertain a motion regarding Mary Jackson, MSW, applying for the LCSW via Endorsement, North Carolina.
Move to approve.
Been moved by Evan to approve. Is there a second? Second by Bora. Is there public comment?
No.
Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Entertain a motion regarding Shane Williams, BSW, applying for the RSW.
Move to approve.
It's been moved by Evan to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jamie. Is there any public comment? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Entertaining a motion to accept all applications for the RSW not discussed in special considerations.
Move to approve.
It's been moved by Evan to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jamie on that. Is there a public comment? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Entertain a motion regarding applications for all LMSWs not mentioned under special considerations.
Move to approve.
It's been moved by Evan to approve.
Second.
Second by Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to that motion? Any abstentions or objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Entertain a motion regarding all LCSW applications not discussed under special consideration.
To approve.
Moved by Evan to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trinity. Any, sorry, boy, I'll be trying to catch all y'all. Second by Trinity. Any public comment? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. We still got a whole lot of meat left for some
Yes.
seconds, so it's okay. All righty. Let's see. Now, all right, we did those. Okay. Y'all, let's go on back and do the evaluation of professional service contractors. Y'all want to do that one? Did y'all do that one already? Did y'all do evaluation of professional service contractors?
Emily suggested we do that under the board staff matters.
Okay, all right.
Not sure under,
No worries. Let's go right on to that then. Do y'all want me to open up with that motion? I was gonna call a motion for that to get that clear because we're going on to board staff matters
it's
next.
under, 5H, so you wanna go there?
Oh,
Yeah.
so she put it under there.
Oh.
All right, we'll do it then. We'll do the motion then. So let's start off with the report on office workflow. All right, Emily, you're on.
All right, we have, since the January 10th meeting, we've had, 7 requests for early testing at the master's level, 4 at the clinical level. We've issued 11 LMSWs to early testers, 7 LCSWs to early testers, 10 LMSWs that were not early testers. 15 LCSWs that were not early testers, 9 backs, 47 retakes, 40 contracts approved. Our other supervision approvals, total 22. License verifications, 28. In-person CE waiver requests for out-of-state was 6. For medical reasons was 7. The open book invites, we've sent 5 out. 4 have passed. None have failed. We've received 14 complaints between January 7th and February 3rd. 8, we requested a written response. 0 were sent for investigation. 3 were under consideration at the time I wrote the report. Not accepted. 1 was not accepted because the person wasn't a social worker, and 2 were not accepted because there was no violation that could be identified.
All right, any questions for Emily on her report? You know, y'all be looking at these numbers and I'm like, look at the work that our board staff's doing. And listen, we meet every 5 weeks, huh? So look at all of that that's been able to, that they do within 5 weeks. So thank y'all so much, for your work in, that. No, any questions for Emily? Okay. All right, so the next item on the agenda is the report on pre-approval organizations for continuing education.
So, anybody that receives the approval to be a pre-approval organization of continuing education, every year they have to submit what they've sponsored and what they've pre-approved. You give them deadlines. Regina conducted this audit, and the following organizations have not responded, and that's the ones listed on your report. So I don't know what you guys want to do with this information, but they're non-compliant.
Move to revoke.
I make a motion. That's your
Yeah,
motion.
move to revoke approval.
I second it. As the continuing education chair, I second that motion.
It's been moved by Evan.
Want some discussion, but at the appropriate time, I would.
So what happened is, so y'all put up, so there's a motion on the floor to revoke. There's a motion made by Evan to revoke the status of continuing education approval organizations for the following organizations that have not responded to the no request from the Louisiana State Board of Social Work examiners. The notices were emailed on 12/16/2024 and on 12/30/2024. The organizations have not responded to the request of the board to provide a list of trainings that they have approved as continuing education approval organizations. The motion on the floor that's been made is to revoke the status of continuing education approval for Changing Directions LLC, OPS Family Care LLC, Orleans Parish Juvenile Court, and Sankofa Institute. The motion was made by Evan, the second is by Trinity. Any public comments pertaining to the motion on the floor?
Public comment.
Any abstentions or objections to this motion?
So, Madam Chair, I just want to say if there's discussion to be had, I'll happily withdraw the motion so that we can discuss it first.
So now the motion is live. Is there an objection or an abstention to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. I can open the floor now to discussion if you would like, Evan on this topic, and it's okay, but the motion was live, so I have to keep going. What's the discussion? We'll open the floor.
If anybody has any thoughts, I'll move to reconsider and we can talk about it, but I
didn't have any I know you were trying to just give us an opportunity to discuss if we wanted, I think is what you were doing. But I didn't have any
No,
discussion.
no, what I'm gonna just say as continuing education chair, there needs to be continuity. I will meet and convene with the continuing education committee, and we will come up with policy and discuss these matters as a committee and bring them to the board. But when our administrator requests documentation or correspondence from an organization, it should be complied. The documentation should be submitted to the board.
All right, with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next item on the agenda.
One question.
Go ahead.
gentlemen.
Oh, go ahead.
So there's 79 active. Do you know about how many were removed?
Didn't have
Okay,
her.
I just was wondering.
We'll,
No, the ones that were removed because they had lapsed approval dates. There's a note that there were others that were also removed. I just was wondering how many that was. But it's not a major.
She probably told me, but I do not remember the number.
Okay, all right, well, all right, so with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next item on the agenda. And so I'm up, so, y'all, I'm trying to slow down a little bit. This past, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the board extended the privilege and opportunity for me to attend the, Council on State Governments Interstate Compact, meeting, as a delegate commissioner for Louisiana. And, since that time, I had an interstate compact meeting, committee meeting that took place yesterday too. So been really putting a lot of mileage on my shoes, being about the business of the board, since Monday. But, first of all, thank y'all for allowing me that opportunity to go as a delegate. With that being said, there's a lot of information that's happening with interstate compact, y'all. And I'm just going to highlight to the best of my ability because I provided this information yesterday at the Interstate Compact Committee as well. So my apologies that they got the information before y'all, but I had a compact meeting. I was telling them yesterday, I was like, Lord, I didn't tell my board yet. But first things first, the meeting took place in Lexington, Kentucky at the actual Council on State Governments. At the meeting, we had the 23 states represented. And again, all this information will be made available on the social work compact.org website, swcompact.org. But anyway, and there you'll see a listing of the delegate commissioners for each state that can be found on the website as well. For the commission to be, of course, formalized and that the bylaws be created. So a lot of the meeting time was focused on creating the bylaws. And so y'all know how it is to create by all these leaders around the table. Took a lot of work. We were literally creating the bylaws publicly where everyone could see. I also think there might be a recording of this meeting that will be made public too as well. And this meeting was also available to the public. So creating the bylaws and then also formalizing the executive committee. And so you all, we've done a lot of work when we read our compact that the executive committee in the Interstate Compact Commission is comprised of 11 members. 7 of the members are as follows. 4 are officers, president, vice chair, chair-elect, same dual, like a dual role, secretary, then treasurer, that's 4. Then there are 3 members, then there's 3 members at large, right? And then there's 4 ex officio seats. The ex officio seats are comprised of 3 standing seats and 1 rotating seat. The 3 standing seats that were voted upon and approved upon by the commission this week were Association of Social Work Boards, National Association of Social Workers, and Clinical Social Work Association. The 4th rotating seat, which is the 4th ex officio seat on the executive committee, was left vacant, but that seat was created to allow other associations, I hate using the word other, but other associations and other subject matter experts to hold that seat when the commission is requiring information based on certain things that were coming up, right? And so that 4th ex officio seat is a rotating seat. So for example, an association that has a certain subject matter expertise could sit in that seat. Now, with that being said, a time frame was not made on when that ex officio seat will rotate. That was not determined yet. They haven't finalized that, but that's who served on that, in the executive committee. The ex officio cannot vote. They just are sitting there to provide subject matter expertise and weigh in on the development of the commission. I am happy to report, I gotta dig it out. It's in one of the bags, it's in the back of another room. It's gonna be on the website, but off the top of my head, I can tell you that the chair is from Kentucky, so I wanted to give y'all the list, but I said it at the last meeting. But let me report to you that the member at large is from Louisiana, as you looking at her, so I'm excited that we were able to add a voice to the executive committee. I was elected to be in that 7 as a voting member. The other thing is, I gotta tell y'all this, I'm trying to get it out. One of the biggest things that was on the agenda that we were able to discuss was the database. And I know there was some questions about what database will states be made available to utilize when we start getting in the spot to get the licenses. Compact Connect is a database that the commission is looking at, because Compact Connect, they haven't approved it, but Compact Connect is being utilized by the counselors and the OTs, occupational therapists. And I think the SLPs too, which would be speech language, I think pathologists. They are working with that database system, Compact Connect. And they're asking us to look at it too. We have not made the determination and that's the one we're gonna use. But and they also ask if anybody else they ask the delegates, if anybody else know of any other good databases to push it through your state, so your delegate could tell the commission, okay? So if y'all hear some other good databases for that.
But at this point, that's the only one in the hat.
That they looked at.
Yeah,
That they looked
okay.
at, but they're open to hearing other ones. A really good question that came up was cost. You know that's gonna come up. We already know that ASWB has committed to $150,000 for the first 5 years through a HRSA grant that they received to fund the compact. And they themselves, once the grant expires in 5 years, they have committed to $92,000 a year past the deadline, the 5-year deadline of the grant to fund the compact.
For how many more years?
They didn't say that, and they could have said it, and I missed it.
Mhm.
But I know that there's some funding after the grant is expired. So that's the good thing. We have some startup funds
Mhm.
to get this thing going.
But they don't have an estimated cost yet because they don't know which database they'll be going.
Right, we don't know. But the good thing about this Compact Connect, there will not be a cost for that.
For the startup.
For the startup, for
already-
the commission, right? So that's the good thing, which seems to be appetizing, but we did not commit to that yet, okay? I have more information to share with you, Bora, on that I will share with Tech Committee only because they have good eyes about the kind of questions, but some of the questions centered around licensee access to the database, administrator access to the database, because we know that those are the 2 who will be doing, and then also how discipline will be tracked in that database from state to state. right? So if there's an infraction that occurs in your home state, that information will go in that database, and then the remote states that you have those licenses in will be notified of that infraction.
And Madam
Okay.
Chair,
Yeah.
besides the expenditure related to the costs associated with the multi-state licensure for the compact, is there going to be any other monetary expenditure the board would have prepare for or spend related to the multi-state licensure?
That's a great question because another delegate brought that up. So the information that want to continue to do, but there'll also be a cost to the licensee for a multi-state license. It is understood by the delegates, and I don't want to speak for them, that that will be two separate licenses and two separate costs. Because there are some states that are not as large as some of the large states, that they may actually have to hire a staff person to manage the multi-state license process. They may have to hire an additional licensing analyst and all of that. There was a question whether or not if there's like a global cost, like will there be one set cost for a multi-state license that is consistent among all states, right? One flat rate, no matter what state you're in. There was a little lightweight grumble about that because we know that some states are larger than others. Some states have more licensees than others and less and all of that. So to answer your question, we do foresee that there will be cost for a multi-state license. Each state has not determined what that cost would be for their license because we have different needs and different resources on to how to implement the license. I did speak up and say about the database, that we should afford states the opportunity to phase in. It should be a phasing in process. It shouldn't be like tomorrow everybody should use this database. I think it'd be good to have 5 states in phase 1, 4 states in phase 2, like it's a phasing where states could test out a database, see what the kinks are, what they like, and then converse with each other about the strengths and weaknesses of the database, and then work together to phase each state in, right? So recognizing that there is possibly being a phasing process to all of this, the thoughts of having a multi-state license readily and available for states to actually roll out on September 1st is not very realistic.
Well, the reason why I did pose that question to you is because of the roles and responsibilities our administrator and her staff will have with this new multi-state licensure. Not saying that it's a negative thing, I see it somewhat as a positive as well, but just the additional roles and responsibilities with the task that they already have. We may have to hire an additional staff member or two with the additional roles and responsibilities because of administering the new licensures, the additional paperwork, the additional technology that may go along with this. So it's just, it is what it is.
Right.
So that's
So that
why.
is some of the dialogue that we had. And let's see, I'm trying to think if I captured everything, y'all, before I lose track. The next meeting has not been determined as of yet, when that would happen. The executive committee was elected, and I'm happy to put that in writing to y'all. I read it out, the names and the states. But I know Georgia's represented. I know Kentucky's, off the top of my head, I have it in my notes. Kentucky's represented. Missouri has a place. Kansas is represented. So I can put together that list for y'all if you want to know who actually is, and I will put it in the newsletter too that's coming up, but it was stated publicly yesterday, all the names and the positions at the Interstate Compact meeting for record. I cannot think of anything else yet, but I want to thank y'all for that opportunity to allow me to go. And also I'm grateful to the commission for electing me to serve as a member at large. So if there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer them at this time about the compact.
Is there a target date? I saw they had on the website fall 2025,
Yeah.
but it
Jamie,
doesn't
I
seem
don't
that
know if
it's
it's gonna
practical.
be, I don't think that's practical and
Yeah.
realistic, Jamie. You know,
So they didn't discuss it further? Okay.
given what we discussed at that meeting, and if you're looking at the rollout, so one, we don't know when the next meeting is. So if our next meeting is June, I'm praying it's before then, but if so, we still gotta. And we didn't get the chance to talk about the national qualifying exam, which was on the agenda. And because we took all the time to do the bylaws and rules committee too. I thought about you, let me throw that out there. Oh, I forgot to say that. So they said, I would think about my attorney, I ain't dropped your name, but I should have. But they were saying that the committees, just like how we have ours, right? The appointments of who could serve on the committees could be people that are delegates can serve on the committees, on these committees, or people that are non-delegates could serve on the committees. Of course, the chair, which is Hank Cecil of Kentucky, he has the discretion to appoint who would serve on it, because there was some concern about different states may pack the rules committee or pack the committees. So you'll have more, more from one state and then it makes the committee. But we have full faith to the chair, you know. But yes, if people are interested in serving on those committees, I believe that they're gonna put that out. Possibly on the website if people are interested in serving on the committees. But again, it would be at the discretion of the chair to select who would serve on those committees. You don't have to be a delegate to serve on those committees. And I say those: rules, finance, I think there's a leadership committee in there. There might be a nominating committee at one point in the bylaws. I almost think there's a communications media one, if I'm not mistaken. I'm thinking off the top of my head. But yes, people can do
So if
that
they don't have to be a delegate
to serve on the
to serve on the
committee.
committee, then who pays for their travel?
See, I didn't get to that part.
Just,
You know, I
just
mean,
saying.
we ain't get to that, you know, like, when you're kind of like, but that's a great question. So who gonna pay for the? And so, or those committee meetings may be taking place virtually, because the committee meetings could take place virtually. Yeah, so most of that work will probably be virtual. Committee work will probably be, I don't wanna go out on a limb and say that, but I could see committee work being virtual. Um, you know, and then the executive committee and maybe commissions may be in person, right? Um, depending upon the way that funding looks. Okay, any other questions, y'all? It was a robust, it was a lot of information to cover in 2 days, but. All right, so if there's no questions about that. Next item, and I will have a supervision committee report for y'all and an interstate compact committee report for y'all next meeting. Next item on the agenda, Sherry, update on promulgation of rules.
Okay, so our notice of intent was published. There were some technical revisions that were made. And it just was renumbering, so none of the text or anything like that.
Okay.
And so maybe we should say on the website, there are 2 versions of the rules, but the one that is the notice of intent is the one that was actually published. And then next, there will be a public comment period later on this month.
Yeah, on February 25th, but stuff in writing needs to be what? Say that part.
Prior to then.
And was it-
February 10th is the deadline and February 25th is the public hearing
Here at this location.
at 1:00.
So everybody heard that, right?
Right.
You gotta
February.
send stuff in writing to Emily
By February 10th.
by February 10th. But the actual public hearing is February 25th here at 1 p.m.
Right, and so if you're gonna make comments, make sure you go to the link that says notice of intent.
Thank you for sharing that too.
So you have the right numbers, but there's no substantive change. But it would just be easier if we're all looking at the same numbers, if we need to refer to a comment. So it's on the road.
Yay.
We also, after the public comments, we have to submit some forms to the Attorney General's office for the new occupational licensing review program. And we have those drafted and we'll complete them by the time the public comment period ends. And if we don't have any public comments that we need to address or whatever, then we'll send them right away.
And do we still have the hearing if we don't have anything submitted by February 10th?
We did do the hearing because if you wait till February 10th to see it, how many comments you have to see if you need me, then it drags it out.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just
Then
wondering if it's still,
Right,
we still
so
are gonna have
We
it either way.
still have the,
Okay.
public comment hearing.
We'll still have the hearing on the 25th.
There will be a hearing,
Okay.
but it, if you can get your comments in writing, that helps us to address them earlier.
Yeah.
Or before the public hearing.
And the public will have an option online to hear,
Yes, it will be
Because-
broadcast just like a meeting, so the Zoom link.
because we have received,
Yes.
just want them to hear that.
So the proposed changed rules are on the board's website under laws and rules.
Mhm.
Notice of intent is the link they would click to see them. If they have any commentary on the proposed rules, they need to email by February 10th. And then that will be discussed during the hearing, February 25th.
That's correct.
Okay, got it.
Correct.
That's fine. I'm just a bit.
Yeah, it just keeps us from having to see if we get comments and then publish the
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah.
So we just publish the
It's
notice.
very helpful, people can get it to us for February 10th because it does expedite the process. Not that we're saying you can't bring something on February 25th, because we don't want that, but my goodness, it will be helpful because you know how long we've been trying to get these
Yeah.
rules done.
I just was wondering
So-
if that's canceled if no one submits anything.
Oh,
That's really what I was asking, like, is it canceled? If
Last time we didn't have anybody that
showed up?
attended.
Yeah,
So we just started the meeting, waited time to see if anybody was there. So I mean, it's kind of canceled in that way if nobody participates, but it's more helpful really if we have it in writing and we can research it if there's an issue that needs to be researched in advance.
It was very awkward because people signed in, but nobody had a public comment.
so everybody just is
So we're
looking at
just
each other.
sitting here. And so periodically I would say, has anybody new joined that has a public comment?
That's kind of part of it, but it,
But with this, I've already received public comments in
Okay.
writing, so we will have things to
Okay,
consider.
to review.
okay.
So it's moving along.
okay, any other questions for Sherry about the status of the proposed rules for promulgation? Okay, all right. Review of sanction schedule for our unlicensed practice. Last, at our strategic planning meeting, we worked together to create the chart for unlicensed practice. Everybody looked at the chart. What y'all think? Are we okay with it? Take a moment to review and see if all of our recommendations were noted in the manner in which we wanted it to be noted.
Samuel.
Yeah, it's in file
Page
review.
5.
Review.
Oh, I see.
What's that item?
Okay, see it.
Are we gonna move to adopt this?
Yeah, we'll move to adopt it, and
Okay.
it will be effective date of 1/11/2025.
Yes, I didn't know what it was for, but I read it.
To adopt it.
Yeah.
When we were,
I didn't know what it was for, but I read it.
when I objected to the minutes, that's because the minutes didn't detail this, but if this is gonna be adopted, then that's fine.
Okay. What y'all thinking? So if there's no corrections or additions or adjustments that need to be made, I will entertain a motion to adopt this new sanction schedule on licensed
Madam
practice.
Chair,
Uh,
I wasn't present at the last meeting due to illness. Now, I did read it and I see the amounts, but can you just explain to me a little bit about it?
But,
About the last meeting and why it was adopted?
It hasn't been adopted. We will get the
Well,
motion today for it, but the reason why we have it before us, the last
Yes.
time we actually reviewed the schedule, I think the last one was 2011.
Okay,
And so it was time for us to revisit it, look at the schedule and I mean, 2011, is that 15 years ago or something like that? 14 years ago. So it was time for us to review it again. There was some changes made to it. Actually, there was something's bringing it here. Some was some increases, but some also went down. Like it was kind of, and we were trying to make it as, comparable to others, but also recognizing, the level, scope of licensure and making it, reasonable to the type of practice that individuals are practicing, right? So you can kind of see that in one instance, you can see where LCSW may, be paying more, than, say like an RSW, but then also what we did was we made changes to the different levels. And this time we literally put time frames on it that were reasonable, I think, and I think the board can agree, and more understood to an individual who may possibly receive a sanction, right? It's more explainable, if that's the word. Does anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah, I have like 3 different things. One is this is a guidance. It's not, there are other factors that may come into play during the process when a person is entering into a consent agreement in order that they negotiate some of these things up or down depending on the situation. So it's not guaranteed this is exactly what each one will look like, but it's guidance for our prosecuting attorney and a board administrator to use to make sure we're consistent. The other thing is, one of the things that noted, which I think may have been the reason the discussion came up, is in some instances, it was less it was more cost effective for persons who didn't renew their license for years to just pay the fine, instead of, like the penalty, the renewal application was more expensive than the penalty in the consent agreement, or am I saying it backwards?
Right.
Because you could let your license lapse and then if you got some work, then delay and get your
Right.
license or
You can
whatever.
delay it, right, and then so so that didn't make any sense. And then also, one of the things we've noted when reviewing our financials is our legal and investigative costs have been increasing. And so we wanted to apply that cost here, so you can pay those costs. Since you didn't renew your license in time, you can pay the cost of the investigation and the work of the legal counsel to get that resolved. So those were like the main things that.
I like seeing it in writing so that we can be consistent. Thanks for the explanation, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair. And I hadn't seen it in writing, and this is something that I have been looking for. And I remember I have always asked Emily about this, so thank you, Emily, for this as well. So if we're ready, I would like to make a motion that we do adopt this.
It's on the floor. It's been moved by Trinity to adopt this unlicensed practice sanction schedule with the effective date of, can we effective it at January 11th, or will we do it?
I wrote that, but it actually probably needs to be today's date. if
Okay,
you're
I just
not-
wanted to make sure,
Yeah,
because I
today.
saw that on January 11th. That's probably, so we created it then. So actually, it's gonna be the effective date of today. So any things that we get that's unlicensed practice from today moving on will be under this fee schedule.
Or
Is there a,
any that have been submitted but haven't been resolved yet?
okay, I need you to speak up and say that.
Okay, so it could, if it's effective today, if there are any pending complaints where the person hasn't been offered a consent agreement, it could be used. For
So
consent
that's why I
agreement
wanted to be
offered.
very cautious by not saying effective today, because we do have some things that are out there, and we actually met on January the 11th, so we need to make that clear for people to know, right? And thank y'all for pausing, because we gotta make that clear. If there are any pending complaints that are out there that have been received after January the 11th of 2025, then this fee schedule will be utilized. correct? Am I saying that right, council?
Why would it
Say-
be under, after January? I would think any of them.
Yeah,
After the date that we, January 11, when we set this, see, we created this
Anything
January 11.
pending. You don't think?
Yeah, anything pending
Even
after.
before January 11, like if there's something pending, that's what I'm
Hasn't
saying.
been offered. If there
Oh, it hasn't been offered,
Yeah.
okay. So thank y'all for correcting me. No, really, because I think people need to hear this, that we have a dialogue. Any pending,
It doesn't matter that.
any pending.
where there's not been an offer.
Where there has not been an offer made. This fee schedule that was established by the board on January the 11th will be utilized if this motion passes.
Yes,
Did we get a second for Trinity's motion?
no, we're waiting on it.
Second.
Second by Evan. Any public comment pertaining to the motion? Okay, any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank y'all for that. Okay, next item on the agenda is the 2025 ASWB Education Meeting, the role of regulation shaping social work future ready workforce. It's going to be May 2nd and 3rd, 2025. I believe it's Portland, Oregon, right, Emily?
Yes.
Okay. And the education meeting is something that our board funds all of the board members to attend, as other jurisdictions fund their board regulators to attend. It's on the agenda because May is not that too far from here. I can't believe we're in February. All board members are permitted to attend if they wish to attend. That's what we've done in the past. Our board has funded for any and all board members who wish to attend. We don't have to say who's going right now.
Mhm.
Right now, we need to entertain a motion whether or not we will be in agreement to send our board members to attend.
Is this open to staff at all, or is it just?
Last
for-
time we did let staff go, remember? We did let staff go. And Emily, what's your thoughts about that?
I'm not requesting, I'm requesting one staff person, whether that be me or somebody else to attend for financial reasons.
So we would need a motion to allow board members to attend with one staff member being allowed to attend.
So is it all or none?
All or none one.
Board members?
No, I mean, some board members may say, I don't wanna go.
No, but can we limit it? The number, I'm just thinking about cost, or. can
Well,
we
I'm
It's
gonna say
whatever
that-
motion you.
I'm gonna say this, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I know we're concerned about cost, Lord knows. The other states, their board members be there. They be packed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the one meeting and people could decide not to go because they might not wanna go. I'm not persuading you either way. I know we got money issues, we have some concern about it. We wanna be realistic about it. But.
Okay, so if we say.
I
If we
understand that.
say one staff and board members, then when the time comes,
I
all of
think
them.
board
it's not-
members could say whether or not they wanna go.
Right.
Right. Yeah, because all board members may not wanna go,
What'd you say?
Might not be able to go those days.
or able to go those dates, or. I know for some people, that's graduation time, it's closer to Mother's Day, I mean, it's different this year, normally it's in April. And I noticed on the calendar, I was like, May, we getting in May now, like, May is heavy for some people, but, and then we can also decide who wants to go, So. It's 2 days, but you gotta count your travel day getting there probably, or travel day. Yeah, whatever that is.
Sometimes these meetings last till the evening or late afternoon and you can't get a flight back until
Yeah,
the next day.
so at this time, we'll entertain a motion regarding allowing board members to attend with one staff member.
I'll make a motion to allow board members to attend.
As-
How many?
As well as one
One
staff
staff member.
member.
I'll make a motion to allow board members to attend with one staff member.
Does anybody have a second for that motion?
Second.
Second by Jamie. Any public comment pertaining to this motion on the floor? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, The next item on the agenda is the 2025 ASWP Administrators Workshop. And I'm happy to report that is free of charge. That is no cost to the board. The Association of Social Work Boards will be covering the cost if we send our administrator to the workshop on April 3rd through the 5th. Does that make my treasurer happy?
Yes. And I'll move to approve.
So we just need the permission to allow Emily to take those days off to go. We will not absorb that cost. I hear a motion made on the floor by Bora to accept and allow her to go. Is there a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to that motion? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries.
It's only one, staff person they're allowing?
Yeah, because it's the administrator.
Oh,
So if
okay.
Emily doesn't go, she'll have to send her designee.
Okay.
All right, so now y'all, are we on H now?
Yep.
Okay, so discussion of schedule of requesting bids to provide professional services. Okay, if everyone out there don't know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you will, contractors, consultants that help us deliver the service to you as the public. We have our complaint counsel, Jim Raines. We have our legal counsel, Sherry Morris. We have our CPA, Griffin and Furman. We have our private investigator, security integrated. We have Lisa Lipsy, our complaint consultant. We have Kathy Pullman, our impaired professional programs consultant. The name is going to be changed once the rule is promulgated to recovery. And we have Gina Signorelli, who serves as our supervision consultant. At this time, the board has engaged in deliberation regarding the contracts for these consultants. And at this time, I'll open the floor for a motion regarding these contracts for the consultants. Yep.
All right, so this is a long motion, but here it goes. I move that all contracts be required to be set for bid on a 4-year cycle, and that the contract bid schedule be staggered as follows. The current year, 2025, and every 4 years thereafter, the IPP, RPP, and CPA. In the second year of the cycle, the supervision contractor and the complaint consultant. In the third year of the cycle, the investigator and the board general counsel. And in the fourth year of the cycle, the board's prosecuting complaint counsel.
Motion made by Evan. Is there a second to that motion? Seconded by Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to that motion on the floor?
No public comment.
Any objections or abstentions to the motion on the floor? Hearing none, motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the financial statements for the period of 7/1/24 to 12/31/24.
Well, I have a typo. That wasn't supposed to be 7/1/24. That was supposed to be 9/1/24
Thank you.
through December 31st of 24. So you guys did review September and October's financial statements at the last board meeting, but you didn't have that comparison sheet that you like to look at. So I put that back on. What you haven't seen yet is November and December's financial statements. And I also have the comparisons for those two months.
Okay. Any questions? I know we're reviewing, that's why the dead silence, okay, folks, because people are reviewing right now.
So in comparison to last year, we spent like an additional 40,000, am I reading it right?
On,
Just from the comparison, I'm sorry, September to September. It looks like on a comparison sheet, I just
oh,
see.
yeah, okay.
Well, not spent, but a difference of, so
Right.
with less revenue and more expenses, there was a $40,000 increase in the amount of money we lost.
Right.
Okay,
Mm.
from year to year.
Mm.
And the amount of money we had in reserve went down because of that, so it's gonna keep going. So now we have through November. And so the goal would be when we meet in March, we have a March meeting?
Yes.
When we meet in March, we'll have December and January. And we should not expect February.
You should have,
There's a 15-day thing I know too, so,
you should have December and January.
okay.
Definitely December. You you should have December, I'm sorry.
Oh, do we?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, let me keep going then. Oh, yeah, I have it, yeah. I'm sorry, we have it.
Let me know if we need a little bit more time, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, please.
No worries, we'll do it.
a lot.
Mhm.
It is.
Can you please remind me what the rental, I know we probably ask the same questions over and over. The equipment rental under operating is?
Yeah, that's our postage machine, our copy.
Okay, the price jumps around a lot.
Mhm.
The price jumps around a lot. The cost, the monthly cost?
Because we only pay quarterly for one of
Oh.
them and we pay monthly for the other one.
Okay.
And I had wondered that, and I was gonna ask what it was, and maybe we can invest and purchase purchase something, whatever it was, depending on what it was, so we wouldn't have those expenses. Would it be best if we purchased it and that way we wouldn't have those expenses? And we could probably fix whatever it was if it was broken. Contact,
Purchasing copy machines.
purchase a copy machine instead of having
Very,
those
very
costs.
expensive, and now they're computerized, and so the repairs are very expensive too. So I would not recommend that.
How much are we paying for it? Well, let's see what it is for.
Cause the servicing too is a part of it.
Yeah, the service and the toner.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, so all of that's a
Part of
bad
it.
deal.
And then postage will fluctuate depending on how much stuff we're mailing you.
Oh,
These legal fees are very necessary.
It is, but you see why I keep saying we need to go green, but we keep, from what I'm seeing, we really can't.
That going green is a great idea, but it is a transition period to that. I mean, you know, it's gonna take us some time to get there.
Certificates have
To be
mailed.
paper, yeah, you
Mhm.
gotta have the certificates. You know. I know we were trying to minimize us getting, remember we used to get our files in paper, now Emily uses a Dropbox. I mean, there's
Exactly.
things that staff
We
is
have it.
trying to do
I
to
know.
reduce the green.
I think that, I mean, once we finish with the promulgation and our new rules go through, I think we're gonna be in a much better
Better place.
position. But
Yeah, cause she gonna be talking about that in a second. So get your Kleenex out for that one.
uh-oh, I do, oh, boy. I do not see any have we seen any charges yet for covalent?
Yes.
Yes.
What is that under?
It's not separated, it's all computer stuff is lumped together under professional services.
Okay, under maybe computer consultant?
Yes.
Okay.
I mind if I step out and get a bottle of water real quick? Okay.
Can't bring you one?
Okay, Doc, can you bring one?
I shouldn't even said that. We're live. I just gotta get, okay, I'll bring you one.
And I think too, the new fee schedule where people are paying the cost of the investigative fees would help with those legal costs as well. Hopefully. Thank you.
Trinity.
Thank you.
But we're operating under budget, so.
Any questions y'all left for the financial statements? Cause we are gonna be going to amended budget next.
No question, it's just we consistently are seeing our total assets, liabilities and equities coming down.
Decrease.
And our expenses going up. And so those two things together, I'll be excited when we can get a budget where we don't have to dip into reserves. So when we get some fees increased.
Just with the cost of everything rising, right? And and we say this like a song, but our fees have not increased in 20 years. You know, 20+ years now. So, and we've been still operating off of that pool of money for 20, same fees for 20 years. All right, y'all, if there's no question for the financial statements. Emily, did you need a motion to accept this? Did we did that?
Y'all acknowledge it.
Okay.
I make a
We just-
motion to approve.
To accept it,
To
to
accept
accept the financial
Yeah.
statements. So it's been moved by Trinity to accept the financial statements for the period of 9/1/2024 to 12/31/2024. Is there a second?
Second,
Second by Jamie. Is there any public comment pertaining to this motion on the floor? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Emily, you're back on stage for the amended budget for
Yes.
2024-25.
Right, so, our CPA has, looked at our expenditures and is recommending that we, amend the budget because when we initially created this budget, there were some unknowns that we've, walked into. So our printing cost is gonna be like double, which it normally is, due to the publishing in the Louisiana Register. They charge $213 a page.
What?
Oh
They
my
charge,
God.
they charge $213 a page at the notice of intent and when they publish it as a rule. So I have my handwritten scribbles on y'all's agenda and I mean, your budget, and I apologize, but it's gonna be like $8,900.
That's ridiculous.
Our legal costs are also way over what we budgeted. And that is due to the support, the much needed support that we've had with getting, the rules promulgated. We've, had more billable hours due to that. Also, due to signing a contract with the OLRP, originally we weren't planning to contract with the OLRP, but then with the elimination of the OLRC, we had to do that. So we need to, amend both of those categories. Let me see what they recommended for that.
Why am Liz doing that? Someone else can answer this. The people charge $213 for every sheet of paper.
That is,
What kind of paper is this?
Well, it's a-
Very fancy.
It's a publication, the official register is a publication that is available online, and I think it's still available in print, I'm not sure. I haven't seen a printed copy in a long
See,
time.
this-
Why does it cost $200?
$13.
They gotta be fraudulent.
I mean, that's what it's a state agency that does it, so that's what their cost is. I don't know if that encompasses administrative costs as well.
So they will charge you more if they have to do typesetting. But I looked at the one that we had, we already promulgated some rules. They didn't charge us anything for typesetting. It was just strictly the pages. So
Yeah, we try to get it in the format, and if they notified us that anything's not, correct, we did reformat it a couple times.
So, yeah,
We have to be better.
So why
we
is
have
it?
like 21 pages in the notice of intent, and we'll probably have 20 pages in the rule, because I don't think they republished the
Oh,
financial and economic impact
'cause
statement.
it's 20, it's 213, it's for each, 21, like
For
20.
each
That's why, cause I was
page
just about to ask why it was 4,000 and 8,000 something, but it's one for the notice of intent, the other for the rule. Right, okay. Or the total of the two.
Right.
It's to me, $213 per page. I
It's not
understand we
optional.
have to do it, it's not optional,
Yeah.
but $213 for a
Yes,
single.
it's a lot.
I should've just
So,
prepared for that. I wasn't
the-
expecting that.
Oops, sorry.
I'm sorry.
So the CPA says, when you look at what we budgeted and what we would have in projected expenses, we're projected to spend 14,000 in printing. And, hold on. I just lost my place. Oh, here we go. 381,000 in legal.
81,000 in legal. And then, so we had 7,000 budgeted for printing, but it's gonna go to 14,000. Okay.
And then we had 210,000 budgeted for legal. And at this rate, it's projected to go to 381,000.
171,000 extra thousands. Okay. But just that. line item.
So with, legal, I guess,
Okay.
We might not reach that. It's just based on what we've spent already in 6 months. That would be the
Yeah.
projection.
I prefer a realistic, you know, so we could, instead of coming back in 2 months and.
And asking for more money. We
Yeah,
need to
and what about
project it
the-
to cover it.
It's legal as well.
Oh, that's
so
all in-
All of it in legal.
Okay.
And, what was that number? Was it around 30K? Cause I remember it was around 30K. We talked about that. Okay.
With the OLRP?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's the,
But that's in the legal fee.
but that's the vast majority of the extra cost.
I don't
Like, how much
know.
of it is us going, okay.
That's not the vast.
That's not,
majority.
yeah, I mean, we needed our counsel to, legally
Right.
review. And
Oh, yeah, I just.
you know that
Yeah,
already,
yeah.
Jamie, I mean, I mean, just for people to understand when you are, I mean, our board knows, but just for people to know that when we are promulgating rules, there's a lot of work that's done by legal counsel to get that done. A lot of work.
And what is under professional services, the consulting other, what is that again?
So that would be if we had a special project,
Okay, so we
that
didn't
we
use
wanted to
that,
hire somebody for. We have not used that
okay.
in this fiscal year.
So let's not consult with nobody else this year. It'll save us 10.
You mean not until June 30th, right? Cause at July 1, we can start consulting.
Yes, until this fiscal year.
Don't talk to
This fiscal
nobody
year.
until June 30th. not
You don't-
Jamie.
We gotta put some money back.
Can't be asking people to do things.
So, like, we can't ask people to do stuff no more, y'all, well,
So
I'm so
Emily,
serious.
so we're paying for life insurance for a retiree, is that standard? Has that,
That was an agreement made at the time that that person retired by the board. They approved that.
That's kind.
so it says lasers ER portion was reduced. What does that?
So we don't set how much, the state sets what we have to pay. And so this fiscal year, it was a lower percentage than last fiscal year. And they haven't announced what the upcoming fiscal year is gonna be. So as of right now, it's still budgeted at the
34.
34%.
So what does ER stand for?
Employer,
So lasers is the retirement system.
Mhm,
So this is-
correct. Oh, let people know, cause you know what.
Is, right, I know it, but the general public or people on the board may not know what that is, so.
TRSL for
Um,
teachers. I should have passed
What
out.
about the
Kleenex.
maintenance, the 5,000, have we spent that, the 5,000 in maintenance?
look at the,
Is it out? Yeah, I know that, trying. Gotta find 170,000, about 15,000.
Okay, Jamie, I mean, we need more time. This is not a time to rush through this.
No.
Took a look at it.
yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong line. These things are so tiny. I apologize.
Mhm.
No, we've spent less than 1,000.
Okay.
So like our refrigerator had to be fixed and, a lot of things is covered by our lease. But there are some things that are not covered by our lease that we have to take care of and
And then,
I forget what else, but I remember the refrigerator situation.
okay, so the renewal part that you have your notes in, you might have spoken to this, but I might have missed it. So the amounts under revenue, that's the old fee, the old cost to renew?
So you need to ignore that thing right there. That was just something I was doing for another purpose. And I
Okay.
was-
I thought you were about
You
to
need
tell
to
us.
look at the actual financial statement for,
2025, 2026.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
oh no, that would be the wrong financial statement, no. Sorry. That was from June of 2024.
Oh, it does say 24
Yeah.
already, yeah.
There's
So,
a
but the- I'm
report-
sorry,
There's a
the-
report I have to do by February 1st of every year, and so I was trying to figure something out.
So the 543 under the fiscal year 2025, the 543,000 in renewal fees, that is the anticipated change?
So, no, that's just me doing that, so I know what the total's gonna be. So that's anticipated based on, when I wrote this, based on the number of licensees we had in the different categories.
Right, but is that the old fee for the licensees, or is that
That's the
the?
current fee for the
So
licensee,
hopefully it'll be more than that, because we're
Correct.
anticipating, okay.
right?
But I just
So,
wanted to make, I wanted to know if that was the old one or if it was.
oh yeah, sorry, I apologize.
No problem.
And I think, Jamie, the new one gave us a projection at about another 300,000. I
Okay.
think, if I could recall
Well,
those numbers.
so I didn't put those numbers.
I know you
in
didn't,
that
I know
one
you
either.
didn't, I know you didn't, but I think it gave us.
Yeah, I'm
somewhere
trying to,
around that.
yeah.
If that went through, it passed, you know.
Ooh, oh, so y'all already added it up? I don't need to.
We, Damian, I mean, I should have passed out the Kleenex before we got to that part, but, yeah,
Y'all don't have to.
you know, it's okay, I mean, take your time.
The bulk of the financials didn't come until this week, middle of the week, so that's why Emily's information is handwritten in some parts and stuff, so. This isn't like. It was
The
being,
final,
it wasn't being reviewed for a month, and it's not like that, it was just literally days.
She literally just got.
Like
the
one
stuff
day
in.
maybe to look at it.
I emailed stuff to you the day that I got it.
And it was after 5 she got it, so, preparing for the board meeting today.
Mhm.
There's,
It's
and
just-
Emily did this just in between all that stuff.
Well, I left her last night here doing it,
Oh, no.
because I was here yesterday with her. She's working hard. She's working hard. So she really didn't have much time. And we're still reviewing public just to keep the pulse. So that's why you hear the silence. We are still reviewing.
I'm sure it's accurate. I want to make myself feel better about the future real quick.
Mm.
So in here, in the 2025 budget, the license fees are the applications and the renewal fees are the renewals?
Yes,
And then what's the miscellaneous? What is it?
that's our workshop fee, our
Okay.
verification fee, our mailing list fee.
Okay, now I think I see what you was doing with that, cause I think I'm doing the same thing. So it's, yeah. So with the renewal fees, it looks like we'll go from 543, a little over 543,000 annually to 858,000. So like we'll have like 314,000 more in revenue. We should offset you said three something was what y'all came up with or something like that?
It was like 300,000, like somewhere around that we would
Okay.
get, with the new fee scale being
Mhm.
approved.
Okay.
So once you guys are finished reviewing, we will need a motion to amend the budget for those, two categories.
For that motion when y'all are ready.
You ready? So who's gonna make that motion to amend those two categories? Emily requested, which was legal fee, what was the other one, Emily?
Printing.
And printing. I wanted to state for the record.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Okay, so with our current budget, we have total revenue of $761,985. And expenses of $1,193,193. So we are projecting to spend 431,000 more dollars than we will bring in. If these fees change, I'm seeing a $314,000 difference, so we still will be operating in a deficit. Unless I'm missing something.
But we don't anticipate having the same legal costs next year as what we did this year.
But the budget for
Because-
next year is in here, that's what that's in.
Right. Okay.
So do we,
So yes, so I have to get a budget on the books
Right.
for next year. But we will have to revisit this budget,
Right.
once we know whether we're getting that fee increase. And we either we're either gonna be revising revenue, or we're gonna be cutting stuff from the budget.
right? Cause we can't keep functioning like that.
Right, so I don't know if y'all remember last time the CPA gave you a report, he estimated we could operate like this for 5 more years.
Yeah. Yes. So in the budget, there's license fees for 133,000 for revenue. And that is based on the LCSW, LMSW, RSW, and the retake applications? Okay. Okay. So we still got a budget problem after fee costs go up, for the record, but okay.
Okay. Are we still at reviewing?
We paid to join this what is it?
Occupational licensing review
We paid that
program.
this year already, or we paid that last year?
Part of it,
It's
partial.
in payments, but.
So we paid, half
30 something.
this fiscal year. And then I have to pay the other half by July 1 of 2025.
Okay,
So we paid about 17 already, Jane.
okay. So what do y'all think? Y'all think this is very expensive? I mean, is it just, okay?
Okay. You might pay it next fiscal year.
I just don't like living.
Not, and I saw it before, you know.
Yeah, oh, so y'all already saw
I
it.
mean, and I
As soon as
saw
she gets
it.
it, she gets
Where you
it.
That's why I should have passed the Kleenex out first. I could have You know, that's it. So our shock, we had our shock moment. You get.
And I didn't want to alarm
Yeah,
Emily
we
and
didn't want to alarm
send
nobody.
send anything back to Emily. Like, what the?
Okay.
We had our shock moment, Jamie.
Well,
So
I'm
it's okay.
sorry,
That's why I
Emily,
said,
if I'm
so that's why I
alarming
said anybody
everybody.
who needs
But
time.
it's alarming, yes, okay.
We started out grieving on.
So we probably, so I think, I know we need to do what we need to do because we need these things. But I do believe, I don't know if this has been discussed before, that maybe there needs to be like a meeting scheduled to like delve into the budget and after the new fees come in. So we can,
So we could do it.
make hard decisions,
We
I
can
think.
do it either two ways, and I need to consult counsel about, no, I'm not, consult with her here during this meeting about it. But we can do this either two ways, and I need to find out if that's okay for us to do that. Can executive committee convene and meet to discuss a matter like that and then bring it to full board? Does the executive committee have the opportunity? An executive meeting, Jamie Barney, myself, or that will be executive. I know it will still be public. It will still be a public meeting, but, you know, and then bring it to the full board, you know what I mean? And that would allow the executive committee to have more time to delve into what Jamie is asking, like we can pull back the layers and then bring it all to full board. So we can do
have
that.
an
So I
executive
will, I'm
make a
going,
recommendation to them.
exactly. So executive committee, you know, we'll find time on our schedule to come together. Of course, our meeting will be public still,
I was just about
right?
to ask, it has to be
It will
public.
be public, it will be public. And, but we could allow more time, right, for you to pull back the layers and, ask more questions, right? So, we'll be
Okay.
talking about with our schedules, what worked for us, and then put that out there.
Okay.
Does that sound
Sounds
palatable to
good.
the executive committee? All right. All right, okay, so Emily does need a motion. Did we get the motion too?
No.
Okay, we didn't. All right, Emily needs a motion to amend
No.
the,
Oh, sorry, go
is
ahead.
that correct? To amend that?
I thought Evan made a motion.
thought Evan
but then
made it.
Maybe you
We
did.
didn't, I didn't get a
That was
second.
I just said I was ready when y'all were.
Oh, okay, go ahead,
Yeah, I
Evan.
moved to amend the budget according to the recommendations submitted by staff.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, all right, next item on the agenda is the proposed budget for FY 25-26. You're still on stage, Emily.
Well, like I just said, this is not we have to get a budget on the books. There's a reporting thing that I have to do. So we have to get a budget on the books. But once we know exactly what we're dealing with, if we're gonna get a fee increase, once we know that, then we have to meet again and revise the budget and reapprove it.
Okay, and so, at this time, I'll entertain a motion regarding the proposed budget that Emily has put forth, recognizing that, depending upon changes, we would have to meet and convene again, right? To adjust this proposed budget. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Make a motion to approve the proposed budget, Emily has set forth.
It's been moved by Trinity. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Evan. Any public comment? Objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the ASWB membership dues. Those dues are $250 annually. At this time, I'll entertain a motion regarding the membership dues for ASWB.
So moved.
It's been moved by Trinity, to pay the membership dues for $250. Is there a second? Second by Evan. Is there public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. The next item on the agenda is Covalent Logic Statement of Work, the supervision data migration. When we met for our strategic planning meeting, we had Cody on, and he did a presentation on the status of our database and platform. And, what you see in front of you is a statement regarding supervision data migration. It's hard to get the data from Certami, from what I understand, I'm going on record for that. It's hard to get the data from them. And so what you see before you is some costs associated with trying to migrate the data.
Was this the, Madam Chair,
This is not the result of any request that we made at the strategic planning meeting, to my knowledge, correct? This is just trying to get the data from Certami.
okay, so, Emily, this appears to be a bill, for expenses for $3,500. Was this, the cheapest, that we could have, received for the services rendered, $3,500? Could we have, been provided the service for, a lesser cost?
No, because we're trying to get the data from Certami to go to Covalent, so there's no way to get the cheaper cost. That's the two people that we're
Yeah.
dealing with to get the data.
So if you read the letter, okay, there's a paragraph in there that
Right.
explains why we're being charged this. Because this wasn't,
Right.
the original
Thank you,
proposal that they
Jump in,
gave
just
us
jump
was
in.
about data migration.
Right.
But this is different in
Yeah.
that what Certami was giving us was not what we really needed. We want, or not as intense as what we needed. And so
Right.
they kept negotiating and we've been corresponding back and forth between Covalent and Certami about this. And so finally, Covalent is saying, okay, you send us what you got and we will have to figure it out. And Certami was saying, you're gonna have to figure it out. Well, that means lots of man hours to do this, more than what was originally proposed that we as a global we between Covalent and us thought it would take. So my assumption by looking at this is that they gotta either hire more staff to do this or make somebody work overtime in excess of what they normally do. So for Emily to answer this question would be very difficult because she's not a programmer. And none of us are programmers, coders, right? So I would assume that Covalent is giving us the best offer that they can possibly give us to do the work that they need to do so that we can get what we need for our new
From Certami.
system. Okay, so I don't think we need to go out for bid on this because we're already contracting with this one company.
These are two
And
companies.
and to me, this is reasonable. When
Okay.
I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, they're probably thinking it'll take somebody over 40 hours to do this, and this is, so it's not, something that they're just saying, we're gonna charge you extra because we want to. It's because we have been watching them go back and forth with Certami, trying to get the information they needed, and Certami saying, this is, here it is, here it is, here it is. And so finally, I think Covalent has decided, okay, we're just gonna have to take it up upon ourselves to really do extra work on this, which is what Certami has been recommending be done. So what are you asking? Is that, do we need to go out on bid for this or?
That's
Get
not,
another provider to do
No,
it.
these are the two providers that we're working with, and this is, it's hard.
You
These
can't
are the
bring
two
another
that-
company
You
in
can't bring
to
another company. into
dissect,
this.
and they'll
Correct.
charge us extra to look at what Covalent and Certami have been looking at.
Correct.
Okay.
okay.
So-
That's right.
Okay,
No
so
worry.
first, I think I struck a nerve.
Yeah, you did. I'm sorry.
Struck a nerve, but it's like, we
system
want you to
I want us to get a
understand.
new
Wait.
system and I want this done quickly.
Let him say.
Wait. Thank you thank you all for your response. I really appreciate the explanations. Thank you, Emily, for attempting to provide me with an explanation. Laura, I thank you for providing me with that detailed explanation. Madam Chair, thank you for your explanation. I believe I did strike a nerve. What I was looking for with with our budget and the situation that we find ourselves in today was it appears that we are experiencing some budget issues. All I did read the portal and this letter and my assignments here. All I needed to know was that our administrators did speak to Covalent and that we did our best to get the lowest price possible. And if we had, then, or we believe that this was the lowest price possible for the services offered, then great. And it appears that the board and our technology chair believes that this is the best possible offer for the services that we will receive, then that's perfectly fine. That's the answer that I needed to know. That's all I
So your
wanted to
question
know.
was answered?
My question was answered.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you. All right, so any other questions regarding the covalent logic statement of work?
I had a question, I don't know, let's do it again. Okay. So I understand what you're saying, Bora, that Certainty has not been as cooperative as Covalent needed them to be to import the data on regarding the supervision stuff, is what this is about, right? So, so they're saying like in the original scope of work, they have to do extra work to get the data set up the way we need it, so we don't keep having all these issues.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So every time Covalent asked for something, they sent them a file, but it wasn't exactly what they needed. And so I think they all realized they were speaking maybe apples and oranges at times. And so it's just been decided that, okay, Covalent needs to really take all the files that they've received and really dissect it and apply it to what we need for our new system.
Okay.
And so that's the conclusion basically in a nutshell. And I think we've talked about this in the past where what we purchase, the services we've purchased before, we didn't purchase a product. We didn't purchase this package of software that's going to solve all our problems. We needed their information tailored for our needs, our board's needs. And so every time a company tailors their software for certain agencies' needs, extra costs could come up because nobody can anticipate what specifically
Right.
an organization needs.
We did, you did
So,
warn us
yeah.
this would happen.
So that's the warning that we always have is no matter what, even if we purchase a product, there's always extra costs that come up because the contracted company can't anticipate everything that's gonna come up until they get the files that they need,
Right.
until they start really building it. And then they say, okay, this is much more intricate than we thought.
Mhm.
And we're gonna have to hire more people, we're gonna have to do more man hours. I mean, that's what happens. And so, you know, sometimes companies will charge you $500,000 and things, and this is a lot of money, it is. But I personally feel like it's reasonable, even though I'm not a coder. I just,
So about the 3,500
yeah,
or the whole
yeah,
thing? Okay.
35.
So so my only, I know this is someone in the tech world trying to write something in a way that would make sense to the layperson, but I don't know what they're saying. Like when it says the deliverable is oriented around flat supervisory information. reformatting and import. So they're doing this so that we can have what they have listed as one in, no, not 1 and 2.
They're saying that when they first made the proposal, they did have category for data. We're saying we want the data files migrated.
Right.
So that they put that in the proposal, but the data that they got, the files of data they got is not exactly how they needed it. And so now they've got to go in and reformat it and really take it and try to make it to where it's what our board needs. And that supervisory functionality that's the big
Mhm.
issue that we've had all the time, I think. And so they're trying to meet what our needs are, what we're trying to say, hey, we've got to have this work this way.
Okay.
So that's what and I know it's kind of gibberish, but,
Mhm.
well, it is gibberish to us.
Yes.
But it's like that, I didn't want 5 pages of
No.
them in tech talk. I just wanted a little paragraph explaining. Cause I asked initially, how is this different from what they proposed before? And which I.
Cause we had to pay Certamy to migrate the data,
Yeah,
and we've paid them already.
yeah, but
And-
this is not for Certamy, this is for
Right, but
Covalent
we had to pay Certamy to get it back.
yes,
And so they're giving it back in a way that's not helpful.
to us, right, yeah.
So does that mean that can we take our money back? Can you draft up something?
But she
Really
gonna charge us to
quickly.
do that though.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. And the
Don't worry
data-
about it.
The data, yeah. Everywhere
She is
I've
gonna
ever
charge us.
worked, when we wanted data, that was always a big cost.
Yeah,
It's always like that, and.
but I mean, just the fact that they are not giving it to us, like,
And the
it just
thing is,
seems.
I've been spending all this time reading all the emails, trying to figure out, okay, are they trying to sabotage
Right,
us?
right,
And I
that's my
have- yeah,
assumption.
But.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe it really is what they thought, because sometimes when we share information with each other, we don't understand what we're saying and
Right.
we're like, well, why are you saying that?
Right,
And it's,
right.
it's from that person's perspective,
Mhm,
saying,
mhm, mhm.
I really believe I looked at this, and
Right.
so I think I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt and say they're all trying to be ethical and,
Mhm.
but with tech companies, that is always the cost, and it's always the function that is difficult to, the transaction is very difficult.
Okay,
So
so there's not a sabotage that we need to go seek our money back for?
it wouldn't be worth it, because the legal charges that we get would bypass this, and
Oh, that's okay.
and then
Very
each
good
company
point.
would charge us extra for man hours.
Very good
Yeah,
point. Good,
yeah.
okay.
So
Mm,
that's why this cost seems reasonable.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I got all emotional.
No,
but-
it's okay, but no, I understand, I understand it very well.
Do they have to do a motion to approve this?
I think so, because it's in
Yeah, it's
addition to
money.
the contract.
Yeah, it's money, so we're gonna definitely have to do one of those. So any other discussion about this topic, about Covalent Logic statement of work?
Do we have a time frame as to when this work will uh, get accomplished for this supervision data migration
good
request?
question.
So when will they have it completed?
Months ago is what we wanted, but.
So did
So
they give
it's-
you an estimated
Yeah.
timeframe,
I
even though it
think
was
once
months
they
ago?
start tackling it,
Mhm.
they, it'll, then who knows what else may come up, but I, no, they didn't tell us we will have it done in 30
Okay,
days.
so can we get them, I'm not gonna say maybe possibly next week, can we get this individual, I'm not gonna say his name, on the telephone and give him an estimated date in a few months that we would like to see some movement on
Okay,
this?
so there has been movement, okay? Emily talks with them on a regular basis. But
A
this
deadline.
specific task.
Yes, this specific task.
Task, I think once they start, they're estimating, I don't know exactly how they came up with the $3,500. I'm assuming whatever rate that they think is, then you divide it. I'm guessing they're thinking, it's gonna take so many hours, but the way they figure it out is an hour, like we may think 40 hours is 1 week. But
Mhm.
however they assign it, it could be somebody doing something 40 additional hours. So
Understand?
Trinity,
I understand
I-
technology, I understand this very well. I just wanna know, um,
I think,
is it gonna be a few months? It's gonna be 3, 4, 6 months?
So I don't know what Trinity's rationale for inquiring about this is,
I just,
but I have, so with Certamy, I know, when does, what our current agreement is in?
so that we can see some
This month to
progress.
month at
It's
this
a month right
point,
now?
until we
And so-
feel like we can sever
Okay.
that.
Yes,
Because you're probably running dual system, have it available.
I want this up and running at least when maybe 3 or 4 months when we enter Certamy, so that our back supervisors and our licensees can begin their supervision so that we can have some accountability, some consistencies, so that we won't have the same issues, or our licensees won't have any complaints, or we won't experience some of the same issues.
It'll all be
as-
migrated before the system goes live.
yes, and I
Okay.
will say that we had conversation with the hope is, now this is the thing, that this is what's gonna kind of make me feel a little uneasy. You talk about kicking can down the road, we talk about that a lot. The hope is that we're gonna be entering in this new system for the new cycle.
That's what I was
And
trying
this
to.
is, and we can't,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell you, and I think we all share that same energy.
Mhm.
I wanna state for the record, I will be very displeased if we are unable to utilize the new system by,
When do we
August
start?
31 is when we
July,
expire.
July would be great.
When do we
Um,
start renewals?
September.
But
I know
people
it
start to
finished-
renew, Emily, when
Oh.
you really start getting those renewals in, like when you start seeing them pick up.
June
June
1st.
1st. So, to your point, to everyone's point on here, some dialogue need to happen. I'm looking at legal counsel. I know we spending money on you, but this cannot continue to operate where we're going into FY 26 with Certamy.
It
For the
becomes
record.
more complicated than to switch the system.
For the record, we need to be able to work to the best of our ability to ensure that FY 26, we start with covalent. So I mean, I hear what the board is saying into that point.
Is it
you know.
FY 2025?
20.
26.
It'll be
It's
FY
25,
26, right now we're in
This is-
FY
okay.
25. It will be FY 26, starting with
So
covalent.
the first thing we need is approval for this, and then Emily can get an ETA from them, and she can re-stress, because I'm sure it's been happening for the past year, that we need this ready to go.
Live for
for
FY
the
26.
new,
And then in line with that, and I don't have a problem with approving this at all, but we don't have it on the agenda anywhere else, so this is why, but, with. Whatever, never mind. Wait, hold on.
You forgot it?
I forgot, FY 26. Give me a second, cause I needed to know this.
Okay.
Certainty. Covalent. Oh, so renewals. Is there something that has to happen for people to start renewing in Certamy? Or can people just start their renewal process? So my thing is, do we need to tell people not to be uploading certificates and stuff in Certamy, like save what you're doing? Because our hope is that we'll be in a different system
Like a
and we don't wanna
transition
have to pull it out, right? Because if I can go in right now and initiate the renewal process for next year, the first year when we had issues, when they changed the workflow and people had put certificates in, and when they changed it, everything was deleted and it was a big thing. So do we need to make an announcement that it is our goal to do the renewal in a new system? So do not versus our correspondence to you to do so? You see what I'm saying? Like, what do y'all think?
I absolutely think that's a great idea, honestly, that at some point we going to have to notify people to not do that.
Cause I don't know if it'll let you.
And I don't know if people have already started doing
Right.
that, but we need to talk about that too as well.
Like, let them know if you have, like, if you're putting your
Some-
certificates
So I'm
in.
wondering, Jamie, that might be something executive committee, because it seems like we're gonna have to, this
We need to
whole
plan
piece
it.
needs to talk.
Yeah.
So we will add that to executive committee agenda. Us three, remember, do not forget, let's sit together and talk more about the rollout and bring that before full board. Okay, I think that's, I mean, that's a valid point. Okay. Any other discussion about covalent logic? Emily's gonna need a motion regarding the request for the $3,500 for migration.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for covalent logic for the $3,500.
Statement of work, okay, it's been moved by Trinity, is there a second to approve this? Second by Evan, public comment pertaining to this motion on the floor. Any objections or extensions? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay. All right, correspondence, first correspondence is O'Brien House's application for CE approval.
Motion to approve this request.
It's been moved by Trinity to approve this request for O'Brien House application for CE approval organization. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Evan. Any public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions?
I'll abstain.
Let the record reflect that Jamie Barney has abstained from this vote. Hearing none, motion carries. Entertain discussion regarding the Red Shoes application for CE approval organization.
A motion to approve.
It's been moved by Trinity to approve this application from the Red Shoes for CE approval organization. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bora. Any public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions to this motion? Hearing none, motion carries. The next item on the agenda is an application for CE approval from Tulane School of Social Work. The application came up before. I think this is a resubmittal.
It looks like all of the,
They have many letters of recommendation. I make a motion to approve.
It's been moved by Trinity to approve the application for continued education approval organization from Tulane School of Social Work. Is there a second? Or abstentions to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a request from Angela Abel for remote supervision.
I'm sorry, I just have one question. I know it's approved, but I noticed a lot of the letters, focused on the person applying, not the university. Is that how that usually, does it matter?
It's
Question.
It may be because of the name of the person that's approving, because if an entity approves, they may have staff that's not a social worker.
Okay,
I think that's what I always assumed. That might be something. for
okay.
the
It just read a little
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
I don't have any, it just was different.
yeah,
Okay,
because it looks like Parker is the LCSW back, so that's why. I'm assuming, because he's the LCSW backs.
She,
Oh, I thought Parker was the guy.
that's okay.
Usually a female.
Oh,
Usually.
Parker's a female.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Usually.
It's no apologies, I mean,
Yeah.
she's okay, all right, so, but we approved it, so are we going on
Yeah, we
to
did.
Angela Abel, request for remote supervision? Okay. Let's see,
60 miles away.
yes, I remember reading this.
So they say they're currently engaged in remote supervision, so what's changing or were they initially approved?
She looked like she switched jobs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it is still a distance thing, so I don't have an issue with it. It's the same supervisor, looks like.
Yeah, we approved the request already back in on December. And at this time, I entertain a motion regarding this request.
Make a motion to approve.
It's been moved by Trinity to approve. Is there a second?
Second,
Second by Jamie Barney. Is there a public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions to this motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is Piper Dixon's request, LMSW for remote supervision.
Okay, this is the one I was looking at earlier, sorry, it was a mistake. This one was previously remote supervision and now is requesting to continue. All right, to request to continue to receive virtual supervision. But I didn't see how,
Accepted a new job offer. At River Oaks.
but like it doesn't,
Like, why did they resubmit? Is that what you're asking?
yeah,
Because I was wondering the same thing.
yeah,
so they got a new job offer.
yeah, but it,
Same,
In an adult psych
same
ward.
backs.
But this last one had the same, it looked like it's
Yeah.
the same type of request
It
as the
seems
last.
very similar request, but what do y'all, let's talk about it. I mean,
So when they keep the same bags, if they switch jobs, they don't have to
feel
make
like-
another request?
I don't think we specify, but I feel like we always say if there's like. I guess if there's a change in circumstances, which I guess this would be. But I don't know that we necessarily addressed that before.
I was confused by some of these also, because I thought, well, once it's approved with the same backs, if it's the same backs.
maybe they're just trying to notify the board.
Mhm.
You know, maybe they're trying to do it
Just they
right.
cross the AT right, cause just in
Yeah,
case they
to
do it.
notify the board.
Yeah,
We
Right,
have like a list and or register of like people who are engaged in remote supervision, right?
right. We've been tracking on that,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
yeah. Um,
so what is the reason for this request?
I think they're probably just trying to be on it.
No, but so why virtual? Cause they say 15 minutes, miles?
15 miles. Entire city of New Orleans, but there's no specificity.
As to
Like
the
where you
reason
going,
why they
Chalmette
changed
Metairie,
jobs.
like what you,
Marrero,
oh, Marrero.
But it was approved.
It was previously
before.
approved.
So in a
she's right.
situation like this, can board office staff just respond to them and say, this was approved on, your request was approved on whatever date, and this can continue through this.
But it was
I
for
thought
a
we-
previous but it was for a previous job, even though it was with the same supervisor, but it's
Same
a
bags,
previous
it's the same
employer.
bags, same
But it's the
bags.
same backs, but it was a previous employer, so the employer was different, but it was, even though it's the same backs, it was still a different employer.
But I just don't see the difference
Your
in that.
employer doesn't
Might
have
have
anything to do
changed
with.
location.
it might have
or
changed
Yeah.
the location
That's
from
something
where.
that they
Is that y'all
asked.
thinking, y'all thinking a
I'm
little?
assuming.
Because it may have changed the request, because the initial request may have been distance, and then y'all
Assuming, yeah,
thinking,
cause it's
yeah.
not saying what the original
Yeah.
request was, and I
So
will
if
say that, Trinity, if you don't mind, if I'm reviewing this as a request, I'm leaning towards a denial.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's important, if we're saying that they don't have to request again, then we'll just let the board office staff to let them know, thank you. I think that's an important distinction to make, because I don't see a travel
That's a
burden
hardship, yeah.
here, right?
And if the initial request
And if-
was due to distance.
Right.
Then that may be what caused the concern. Go ahead.
Staff understood the directive to be any changes have to be
Bring it
brought
before
back
the
to the board.
Okay.
So if you want to do something different, then I guess let us know, but that's what the directive was.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, that's, but it's just something to, have a conversation about. So I hear what you guys are saying. If the initial response was the initial request was based on distance.
Right.
Now, there's been some change in that will impact the initial request, and this is why we are hearing it
Right,
again.
and if
And
it's
it could be
not-
why, this is why we are hearing it.
Right, and if it's no longer distance and there's no longer a hardship, then the board can decide to no longer honor the request.
This is
If
true.
we investigate it as Dr. Barney stated, if it's no longer required, what if there's no longer a hardship? If we know something now, we can deny the request. If the situation remains, so or if they didn't provide us with any additional information to even grant a request, we can deny it and offer the client the licensee a compliance hearing if they don't provide us with enough information. So if they're listening and the information doesn't warrant, and they don't provide us with enough information, we give them a compliance hearing. If they provide us with enough information to where we can make a well and informed decision, then we can make a decision.
What movement do you all think we should move on this? I'm seeing that it says, the reason is that we're unable to complete supervision during the typical business hours of 8:30 AM and 5 due to the nature of our current jobs. Our supervision must take place in the evening. And then it goes on to mention the challenges as it relates to office space and all of that. So what are you all thinking about this? What's the climate? What's the temperature on this particular correspondence?
I kind of want to know.
Yeah.
You know, the location, right? Because if the location has changed, if the business has changed, where are you? As opposed to
Exactly.
where is because we know the supervisor's in Marrero with no private office space, okay? But where are you? Because you can tell us 15 miles, you can tell us what you think traffic is. But those of us who, with our own experiences, understand what the traffic might be like, we have the opportunity to independently verify.
Not only that, but if there's no private office space, how are you doing the virtual sessions? You still need private space.
I
You
would
know,
say,
like, I mean, I know there's some differences, but
Well, and she's saying she's got a new job at River Oaks Hospital.
Space at that facility.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to deny and offer a compliance hearing and
That's true. Hang on, Bora, you said River Oaks.
Yeah, it's in the
Hospital.
second paragraph. She's
Okay.
new job offer working as a social worker in the adult psych unit at River Oaks Hospital. Is River Oaks?
River Oaks is in Elmwood, by the Hugh P. Long Bridge. There's a motion on the floor to deny and offer a compliance hearing. Is there a second?
Second,
There's a second here, on the floor by Evan. Any public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, next item on the agenda is Brittany Kennedy's request for remote supervision.
looks familiar. Oh, this is the group plan.
This is distance.
Mhm.
Mansfield to Baton Rouge.
I have seen this exact,
Format of letter.
not even format, this letter.
You have a good recollection.
Like the bullets and everything, the Shreveport 2
Shreveport on Brittany.
Am I looking at the right, oh, I'm on the wrong
So
person.
yeah, Brittany is the Vanderbilt.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Location.
Sorry, Brittany. You make up.
And, yeah, Mandeville, Louisiana, and,
Yeah, I'm okay with this one. You don't see, anybody see anything?
if the climate is
No.
where we are, can I get a motion regarding this request?
Move to approve.
Been moved by board to approve. Is there a second? Second by Evan. Any public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a request for remote supervision by Cameron May, LMSW.
This is what I've seen before.
Yeah, this is one.
I've seen this exact
So
thing.
this supervisor does group supervision. And I think this is a new person for that group.
Okay,
And he or she is using this person is using the same, form request
For their.
that the group
Mhm,
supervisees have used.
right.
okay, but where is she? Like, she's talking about Shreveport and then the residing cities of
Yeah,
coworkers.
she's in Monroe, so
Yeah.
second paragraph, justification for virtual supervision.
So she resides, she works virtually. And, okay.
Distance, that's almost an
Long
hour.
distance.
Yeah, okay.
But I agree with you, I never like a form letter.
No, it's like deja vu in a bad way. Okay.
What's the climate on this, particular request? Is there time for a motion at this point?
Motion to approve.
Been moved by Jamie to approve. Is there a second?
Second,
Second by Evan. Any public comment pertaining to this motion?
No.
Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. The next item on the agenda is a request for credit for supervised works experience by Carly Poche, LMSW.
Heather forgot to fill out the form, right?
Let me see. It's about the form.
Supervision, okay.
So she switched supervisors and looked like the new supervisor.
But also there's some outstanding information that the board staff requested to attach to this request and the board staff didn't receive it. Am I reading that correctly? Board reach out to get information and the information was not provided to the board staff? Am I reading that correctly, y'all?
January 31st, they requested more information and they haven't received
We haven't
it.
received it to make an informed.
It's from the board,
Our staff member
Requested
reached out,
to
reached
the-
out to the,
It was
to-
scanned, oh, sorry. It was scanned separately. We did end up getting it.
where'd you get it from? Where is it? I'm sorry, under what? It still, it should be in
Oh,
here.
it's scroll down, I think.
Where is it? I'm
It's-
sorry.
If you scroll
It's-
down,
It's the third to last one in our Certainty list.
Okay,
page 46 looks like.
okay, thank you.
Scanned
I'm sorry.
information.
Well,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
This thing is all over the place. It's upside down.
What is animal farm that says
Yeah.
two legs are better than four? Joy over.
Oh, animal farm.
my
So
God.
more eyes are better than two, right? 12 eyes is better than two.
Even then we missed.
Even then we missed it, but I'm glad y'all caught that. Thank you.
Okay. When she start?
supervision contract wasn't completed.
So the former back still has not completed
The supervision
the
contract.
supervision contract, record of supervision.
Okay.
He's writing to us and saying, sorry, but still hasn't done anything about it.
The new supervisor, all of that's in.
So it looks like she started meeting with that person and they gave her guidance, so it should have happened.
I wanna be honest and authentic. It's a lot of layers to pull back. I'm having a tough time with trying to figure it out. And some of you all on the board, y'all do sometimes a better job in the moment to figure things out. But I'm kind of struggling a little bit with, see this, she could potentially lose supervision credit from 12/9/22 to 5?24. I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to do with that. And I'm just saying, I need to know 5 what, you know, what's the date?
So the former back sent an email in December of 20, invited them to do something, inserted me. I don't understand, because
So,
January of 25, it was
Very
completed, invitation was sent, but the supervisor didn't enter the information.
So it looks like they completed the contract, but she's not entering the sessions in the record of supervision. The record of supervision is where you have to document each of the sessions. And so what I'm gathering is she did the contract, the contract was requested, the supervisee sent the contract to the old backs October 2023. And it took some back and forth, but it was completed January 2025.
So Jamie,
Huh?
when did she terminate supervision from her first supervisor? Do we have a date on that?
May 2024. They don't have the
When?
specific date, but
Yeah,
it says
but
May.
when, you know,
Oh, I don't, but
that's the other thing that I don't.
but that's the back. So yes, you're right. We don't have all it looks like the BACS hasn't finished everything because the BACS has to terminate the supervision.
Mhm.
And so she's actually in a good space that someone accepted her while she still wasn't terminated, you know?
Mhm. You know, because the second supervisor accepted her, you
Right.
know, you know.
But if the
probably in
BACS
good
still
faith.
hasn't entered the record of supervision, because she has to go enter each, session. But she sent her the invitation to do it, but it looks like the BACS then retired and.
And stuff is kind of all.
And now she's using a different email, so I don't know how she may not have access to the old email.
So she sent all of this as a separate scan. For, this lady. The very last page has group and individual sessions listed on their own log that they did. The problem with it is this printout, I cannot see any dates.
The date is the concern I have, and so I'm.
So let me show you, because you're so quick.
Yeah.
You look through all this stuff and you catch stuff fast. But this is the whole pack of stuff that they sent.
Oh, yeah.
Is that stuff that was difficult, the pay? Size.
But
Yeah,
the dates are cut off.
Yeah, and I was trying to read it in the email with my head, and inserting me in my head tilted to the
Each
side.
page was scanned different.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep, that was the one.
So you can read it better here, but
Yeah,
the dates are cut off, so. It's not anything, like no one can take this and enter it in, because you
right.
can't see any of the dates of the sessions.
Yep, that was the one, because I was turning to the side and everything, trying to read it.
So did the supervisee scan that over?
Did the supervisee send it or supervisor?
Oh, I would have to ask. That's what I do.
Okay, no problem.
I mean, that's what
The
my energy
supervisor has
is.
a better copy.
Oh, that's the date right there.
Was
It's
that a
January
motion
25th,
before
though.
you walked out?
It can't, no, I'm gonna let them keep talking because they're gonna unravel it, but that would be my motion if I were to make it.
That's it.
Well, I'm gonna take it that it's not a motion because you just stepped
That's
out.
not the date, that's not the date, that is the due date, this is the date of the session.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the supervisee emailed a zip file and Regina printed it.
So these type notes are a bit much better. So she was documenting the sessions, it's just the issue, I guess, of her getting in the. But at this point, Emily, if like the lady was here right now, if they both were here and it's like, let's resolve this issue, they still have to get this into Certamy, right? These into that,
Yeah, unless y'all wanna take it in. a
so we
different
can't, I mean, it's still not done then, cause it's still not in Certamy, right?
Is there a way to where you can upload those forms into Certamy?
That wasn't the law.
The record of supervision,
Yeah, all of that. Can they
That's
upload
not
that
out-
to Certamy?
they
or you
have
to
a, this
type
is
that?
her that she typed in like Excel or something.
The,
They still don't, I don't think they still don't have it in there.
I've never messed with Certamy, so I've never.
What's your
went into
question,
Certamy.
Trinity?
Can they upload those documents into Certamy and they can count that towards? Cause I've never been in Certamy.
You can scan it in, but it's not gonna. They would have to scan it in the little part where people were putting their certificates when they couldn't put more in. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, okay,
But
cause,
the only thing, I know when people were transitioning off of paper into
Mhm.
Certamy, we would make one request, you know how when you first start now, you make a
Right.
request for like 1 or 2 hours. And then you start going, so they potentially could make a request for like the 54 hours.
right,
And
cause
I
I've
would
never
say
been
I'm
into the
denying
supervision
that.
part of Certamy, so that's why I keep saying I've never been into that part.
Just
So I don't
feel
know
like
what the
that.
facts and supervisors see. So I've
Because when
never
it
been in-
boils down to it, she didn't request
you wouldn't upload it.
she didn't try to start the contract until, well, she tried though, October 2023.
Oh, okay.
Like
You
where
know,
you're.
like she did what she was supposed to do, but
Okay, so, yeah, I've never had a reason to go and upload anything there.
Move to deny an offer of compliance hearing.
There's a
Second.
motion on the floor by Evan to deny an offer compliance hearing. I got a second from Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to this motion on the floor? Any objections or abstention to the motion on the floor? Hearing none, the motion has carried. The next item on the agenda is requesting credit for supervised work experience that took more than 4 years from Annie, is it Leggett or Leger?
Still in correspondence, right?
It is, it's right after this one, keep scrolling, it's right after. Um,
So this is
Okay.
one of those situations where you could proceed under the old law or the new law, and it sounds like this is a request to proceed under the new law. We would just have to approve the extension, right?
What's our climate around this one? This is a request to approve the extension. Do you feel like the individual has provided enough information to allow us to do so? If so, at this time, I'll open the floor for a motion. If people still need to review, we can do that as well.
just have a question. So are they finished now? Or how much more time are they requesting?
I'm looking to see if they have.
I don't have a problem with the request. I think the justification is
Is
there. I
the
just don't
dates for the,
understand.
it's the part where it says the dates for those years are as follows. Is that what you're asking about? That
Yeah, but
9/21?
so are they done now? Like, did this come
Oh,
up, or
oh, the
how much
completed,
longer
yeah.
do they need?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
As I read it, it looks like it's complete, because the way the letter starts is why it's taken me longer than 4 years to complete my
Okay.
supervision hours. So I think I'm okay with it as long as we can verify that.
I'm trying to see if in the letter it states that they're done, but I don't see that. Emily, is there any way that we can verify that they have met the requirements?
It's like it's complete because it says it took more than 4 years to complete. And she was made aware of it,
Mhm,
that it didn't meet the 4-year requirement.
mhm. And she did note that she started in 2019, so yeah. So I'm okay with approving that timeframe.
Are you all?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
It's done?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
So can we state the motion with the approval of timeframe, or what's the motion?
Make a motion to approve the request to accept the supervision from September 2019 until current time.
second.
Until current, huh?
Mhm.
It's been moved by Jamie to approve the request to accept supervision from September 19 until current, second by Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to the motion? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is correspondence from Erica Bucker. Earlier, we received public comments from her pertaining to this correspondence. And now we're here. And where's my nice rule book? Oh, it's in the other room. I may have to get up and go get my nice rule book. Is that an extra? No, you need yours. I'm going to exit myself to go get my rule book real quick as we review. Okay,
Mine.
all right, thank you so much. I just wanna, and the one you have has the statue in it too as well. Look at Trinity passing. Thank you, sir. Sure. And so we, for this, there's a little bit of questions that's here from this individual, but I do want to point out and say that a lot of this is covered in the statute, in the rules. Understanding what your scope of practice is on the licensee, but certainly our role is to help educate. Some of the answers to these questions we cannot provide because we are not your liability insurance carrier. So I just want people to understand that too as well, that sometimes questions are posed to the board as if we can provide you an answer when you really need to be consulting your liability insurance carrier as well as the statutes as it relates to scope of practice. But by certain, we are happy to provide education when we can, but we are not your legal counsel either. So asking us about opening up LLCs and things of that nature is something that puts the board in a position of being your legal counsel and or your liability insurance carrier. I want to just state that for the record and saying that at any time the board, can offer any weigh in on what I just said regarding the multitude of these questions that are here. The scope is clear about RSWs engaging in clinical practice. The scope is very clear about RSWs needing to have supervisors of LCSWs when they are documenting. The scope is very clear about that. Additionally, certain words like behavior activation skills, in my opinion, is clinical practice.
Mhm.
It's not non-clinical behavior activation skills that don't exist. Behavior activation skills is clinical.
Right.
Coaching services, I don't like social workers to say that they're coaches because I'm just not an athlete. I'm
Right.
actually a professional social worker.
I think to kind of echo what you're saying, I think if you just write non-clinical in front of all of the services, it doesn't make it okay.
Right,
Mhm.
and it doesn't mean it's not
So,
clinical, right?
Yeah, like, so it just falls back to the current requirements of 2706
Correct.
to be, which they pulled, so they have access, to it, but it says a social worker at this level shall work as an employee in an agency. So that answers question one. Uh, and two,
Correct,
and three,
correct,
and four,
yes.
And five and six.
and five. And five and six.
No, but you're
And
right
then-
though.
I mean, but it's
You
true. I mean, the
put
scope is clear.
non-clinical
Right,
in front
right,
of something
The
and
scope
make
is
it
clear, the scope is
non-
very
Cannot,
clear.
it cannot do it.
And then when they're sued by the public,
Right.
do they have a stand? They need to consult with an attorney and their insurance provider.
And then
on
the
that.
clarification part, I don't understand the difference between the. An RSW is permitted to deliver the aforementioned services listed above.
is correct? No.
Right, no.
Highly recommends.
And the LABSWE highly recommends that the RSW be an employee. It's not a
It's not a
recommendation.
recommendation, it's the,
This is
it's the law.
not, this is only a recommendation, correct? No.
It's also not us, it's the
It's the law,
legislature.
right, it's the law.
So it's not the board, it's law, yes. So,
Well, Jamie has said 2706. She has out.
Yeah.
Two.
yeah, we cited it, so,
Copied it and pasted it.
yeah, so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Does not restrict. I mean, it's like the same question,
Yeah, just stated affirmatively. And
yes,
so every one of your clarifications is wrong, ma'am.
yes.
See, I'm not in chat, so I can't see it.
Yes. The RSW must be an employee of. So yeah, that's it. That's.
So, So, y'all, this is a referral back to 2706. I'm hearing the board saying referred back to 2706 as it relates to scope of practice for the registered social worker, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Are there any other rules that we want to cite or any other statutes? But it just seems to me that
I want to say one thing too for the public's benefit, because I remember in her comment at the very beginning, she said that shall meant a suggestion, not in the law. Shall is mandatory.
Mhm.
Shall is always mandatory, everybody. It is not a suggestion.
thank you for that, because I forgot about that. I wrote it in my
I
notes
wrote it
to
in my notes
address
too, and I
it.
thought, when was shall never mandatory?
I
Right.
forgot to address that. Thank you.
And
for
so that might be the misunderstanding that she has with all of her questions, that she thinks shall is optional. Yeah, but you're right.
And I liked your statement about your insurance provider and
Mhm.
attorney need to be the
Mhm.
ones to guide you on this.
Yeah. So we certainly hope that, that provide the information to respond to this, these questions. Again, we are referring the individual to 2706 to meet the scope of practice for the registered social worker. We've made clarification that shall is not a recommendation, shall is the law, it is a requirement. We also said that the individual or any individual who's considering opening up businesses and all that stuff need to consult legal counsel, their liability insurance carrier, because we can't provide you that as the board. Nor are we gonna do that. And recommendations, typically the board doesn't do recommendations. What we do is regulate. And we provide the law, and our statutes and rules help us regulate. So just wanted to provide some clarification to you in that. All right, folks, let me ask you, did y'all get the, did y'all do y'all motion for y'all, 1 o'clock? CANO? Y'all did that already publicly? Okay, good. All right. So with that being said, I just want to review this agenda to make sure that we covered everything before we, close out. Just looking through, making sure. Well, it seems as though we have everything covered. Do we?
Yes.
If so, we are going to entertain a motion to close. When is our next board meeting? March 21st? Oh, wait, someone. So public comment period is closed. Public comment period was for this morning. There is no live motion on the floor other than I'm asking the board if there's anything else on the agenda to cover. We are going to be entertaining a motion to adjourn. So what I'm asking my fellow board members, is there anything on this agenda that we have not covered?
No, we covered everything.
So at this time, I'm opening the floor. It's been moved by
Second.
Jamie to adjourn the meeting. It's been seconded by Trinity. Any objections or, any public comment pertaining to the motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting? I don't think so. I think you don't for adjourn. Sorry, y'all. You know, it's been a long day. A long week, actually. So there is none. The meeting is being adjourned at 3:58 PM today. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all March 21st, something along that line. Well, we'll see people for committee meetings probably before that, which is March 19th, but we'll see full board back in public. When is full board? The 21st? Anybody know when our board meeting is?
Oh, yeah, hang on, I got it
Got
on
my
my
calendar and
calendar.
it's all.
Cause I like to tell people.
I have, March 21st, yes.
March 21st is our next board meeting. Thank y'all. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.